So we will begin from value left yesterday. Okay, yesterday we saw how to construct this select option. I mean the component usages. Then we created a simple report using this table. Afterwards, I told you the difference like why we shouldn't write the select statement within your event for component. Then we saw the concept of assistance class. In the assistance class, when we are creating the method, we interrupted yesterday. Okay, so I have completed that example afterward. Okay, I'm just showing you that. No, I don't get that. My company they don't provide. From my company, yeah, I'm from Yash Technologies. But when I asked my HR, they told like there are no opportunities. Tell me if there are any through some other companies I will come. Yeah, but they should help me, right? Okay, okay, then, oh, uh-huh. Okay, okay, fine, I will give you my resume. Okay, okay, okay. Just hold on for a minute. Hello, hello, hello. That's a good. Hello, hello, hello. Aaron? Hello. Sterling. Ramya. Hello. நான் ஒன்று சார் நான் கிளாஸ் எடுத்துட்டு நான் முடிச்சுட்டு பேசுறேன் சொல்லு சொல்லு கொடுங்க சாரிங்க எனக்கு யாரும் அடையாளம் தெரியல என்ன சரி ஓகே ஆயிரத்தி ஹலோ சரி ஆஹா. சரி உங்களுக்கு ஒரு மெயில் ஐடி ஏதாவது தெரியுங்களா உங்களுக்கு எந்த இருக்கு ஆ சரி சரி ஆஹா. சரி சரி Hello. Yeah, sorry. Okay, I will forward you my resume. You can send it to your HR. We will see. Okay, so we shall begin with our class. Okay, yesterday we saw the resistance class. We were creating that method. Okay, so I have created that method. I have named the method as get exploit details. Then I have created the importing parameters im underscore select, which is of type select option. I have created a select option and I have created to that particular type. Then I am returning all the information about the flight details. Yeah. Okay. So within this method, I have written the business logic to fetch the data that is required. Okay. And in the view controller, the modification that I have done is instead of directly writing the select statement, I have called the method of assistance class. Okay. I have called the method of assistance class to get the information. I have passed the selection criteria to the select option. Sorry, to the assistance class. By default, we get the reference of the assistant class as WD underscore assist. Okay. Okay. So I get the details, then I'm writing the details onto the screen. Okay. So this is one part with relation to assistant class. And one more thing I wanted to tell you here is you should try to limit the number of calls to the assistant class. Okay. Whatever the business logic you wanted to write, they all should be within the assistant class. That will increase their performance. Okay. The other thing is that you can create a number of methods in the assistance class, then you can, from your web and controllers, you can keep on calling that method. It's not an issue. Okay, as long as your business logic is in assistance class. Okay, so instead of giving multiple attempts to assistance class, you can, what you can do is, in the assistance class, you can create a wrapper method within which you can create a whole functionality, whatever you wanted to do. Then within a single call to the controller, you can pass the out directly. Okay. Say for example, you may want to fetch some information related to vendor, sorry, to some information related to company code. You may want some relation related to vendor. You may want some relation related to PO. Okay, likewise, you have different operations that you can perform. Okay, instead of framing your business logic over here, like calling the method to the company code and get the details of the company code. Then call the method to the vendor details and get the details of the vendor. Then calling the method to the PO and getting the details to the PO. Then you write your and you fill the finance structure and display it over here. Right. So instead of that, what you should be doing is in the assistance class you should create a wrapper method. Within the wrapper method you have to do this functionality. Then you just have to call the wrapper method here. So you should try to limit the number of calls that you are making to assistance class. So call, you can minimize the call to one so that that call will literally perform all the operation and will return you the desired result. Okay, in case if you are not modularized, in case if you are not able to modularize that due to some constraint, then it is okay to have multiple calls. Okay, so why I wanted to do this? I wanted to reduce the performance issues. Okay, so I just don't want to move from my webcam to container to a assistance class, then from that to here, then here to that, then here to that. I don't want to make this moments. So I just wanted to limit the number of calls that I'm making away from my webcam to container. Okay. So try to complete all the logic within your assistance class, then just return the final result what is going to display here. Yes. Then The next thing is setting default value for the select options. Yesterday we saw how to create the select options. Then we did how to read the value from the select options. Okay, today I'm going to set the default value to the select option field. Okay, so I'm going to do this in the doing it method. Okay. So yesterday we created this range table already. My selection field is created based upon this range table. Okay, but I haven't populated any value to this range table. Right. So what I'm going to do is I am going to fill some values in this range table. So since this range table is of type data reference, I will not be able to directly put or read value from this. So I have to assign this range table to a field symbol, and in the field symbol I will put the value so that the value will reflect also in the range table. Okay, yesterday you were asking me this question. Okay, so what I have done is I have created a selection, the structure of select option and a work area for that. Then I have declared a field symbol. I have assigned the selection screen range table that I have created to the field symbol. Then I am filling this work area and I am populating it to the internal table. That is the field symbol that I have created. Okay, for the field symbol that I have created a standard table. So to look at both sides of the table, I have put the value in this. Since this field symbol is already assigned to range table, field symbol only contains the reference, right? So when I put value in this, the actual value gets stored here. Then by this way, I am populating the value within this range table that I have created. Then I am calling the set range table of selection field method of the select option. Then passing the ID of the selection field that I have created, I am passing the value. Okay, so this is yes, this is an internal table, right? You remember the structure of this internal table for select options. How many number of records you have, then it will become like multiple options if you have more than one record. So this method is available in the if underscore wd underscore select options. While creating the selection tree itself, we got the reference to this. So I am using the same reference to populate the value. Okay, in this way you can set the default value for the select options. So till now, do you have any doubts of what we have done? This one. I wanted to set the default value for select options. Okay. Okay. So we create select the option based on the range table. So I'm populating some value in the range table, then I'm setting it back. Okay. Article ID. Yes. Okay. So we have already seen pop-up. Then we have seen how to call web application from another, but we did not do it in full earlier, right? Then we also left the part of reading parameters from the portal. Yes. 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 So what I'm going to do is we have our link to action. Yeah, we have our link to action. So when I click on this link, I'm going to throw a pop-up. In this pop-up, I'm going to display the form details. Display the details of this CAN ID. Okay. So what I have done is I have created one WebDrive application that will generate the form. Okay. So I will do it from first. So I will understand. Yes, everything I have. Okay. Okay. You're coming home for Diwali. No, I don't celebrate that. Okay. Okay. So I will tell you why particularly I wanted to throw this application as a pop-up. Okay. Um, if you look at the portal will have only launch pads. Okay. So we have a list of launch pads. Launchpad is nothing but the place from where you launch your web applications. Okay. So they might be using some HTML, JavaScript or something to construct the page. Then they will be giving you some links like when you click on this link, you call this web application. That's how they used to configure it. Okay. Now there might be some scenarios like I told you I wanted to call the username or something like course ID. The scenario which I saw today. Some user has logged into the portal. Okay, they have this learning and development column for him. He goes and he clicks on the column. Okay, if he search for the course, it provides him the list of course. When he click on the some course, it is opening a web info application. So the web info application when it is getting open, we are passing the course ID. So as to identify which course should be displayed. Okay, so there may be scenarios where we will want to read the parameters that is coming from the portal. Okay, so I have decided to create a similar sort of scenario wherein we have a table which is having multiple rows. Each and every one has the link to action. So when I launch something, I am not going to pause the data through some context or component controller. Also, it is impossible for me to do that because these are two different web and flow components. I don't have the interface of data. So just like the way we get the read the data from the parameter details from the portal, here I'm going to pass the URL of the parameters. So when this application, when it comes inside this application, like the way it comes from the portal, we will read the portal value, sorry, we will read the parameter value and we will react according to that. Okay, so the first step is the portal parameter value that I have to read within the window. Okay, so the window, the standard default block will be triggered as the first one because this is the pet startup. So this is the place where I determine to capture the value. Okay, so let's assume that let me create an application first. So this is the URL that will be configured. usually if you take any website, you will be able to see this question mark. After some parameters, you will be able to see this question mark. After that, what you see is called parameter, and this is the value to the parameter. Then this will indicate the and symbol. That means there is one more parameter EX, and this is the value for that. Okay, then and symbol. This is the value. This is the parameter name, and this is the value for that. Okay. Likewise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to construct my parameter name like after question mark we specify the parameters. So I'm going to specify the parameter name as char id is equal to a. This is how I'm going to pass the value. So in my web application, the first step that I should do is I have to create the parameter. Okay. When you want to read the parameter in the portal, then you should know what name the portal is passing the parameter. The same name you have to create. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Basically, you don't give the web application to the user. Okay. It will always be associated with the portal. So we don't have to check this login details. So if he is logged into the portal, if he has the role to access this application, then he will be able to access this application. So, so it is related to the roles and authorizations. Yeah. No, there is no reason that you have to do this validation. See, there are different scenarios. Wherein something has to be handled by yourself and something has to be handled by the portal consultant itself. Okay. So if he is not authorized to have access to this content, then they may not have provided the role that they have created for this application to the user. Okay, then if that is the case, you should have what is the learning activities that is associated to him. You can either get to know that by some roles or you can get to know from the table values. You should have stored it somewhere, right? You can read the yes, 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 yes. You can just you can directly go on and use the SIU name. Okay, because yeah, yeah, you will get it because I will tell you they will prefer using single sign-on option. Okay, so what will happen is for the single sign-on to work, the user ID which you are logging in the portal and the user ID which you are logging into the ABAP server. Okay, the both the things will be same. Okay, so that's how it logs on. And usually company prefers single sign-on option because they wanted to keep track of who is changing the data. They cannot simply provide same user ID for all the users. Then if something goes wrong, you may not be able to track who did that. Okay, so obviously we get the same username. Okay, so I have created the parameter here in the Webdriver application, in the application parameters tab. Now in the Windows tab, I am going to read the parameter value. Okay, so the first plug that will be created is default plug. Since it is an inbound plug, you have this importing parameter. So here I am asking to import the value. I told you now here you can directly read this value. Since this is an importing parameter, we have this. Okay, but if in case if you wanted to read it at from any point of time, you remember I sent you some piece of code. Okay. So you can make use of this class, get to know the parameter value. Okay. Anyway, obviously we'll have it directly here in the char ID. Yes. Make sure I get it. I prefer to use the class because here in this method I directly get this value. Okay. But if you want to inside some other method, some other view, where you want to know the value, that point of time you can use this. Okay. Once I get the value here, I'm going to store the value in the component controller so that wherever I want that, I can access the value. Okay, so I will create an attribute in the component controller, the name char ID, and I will populate the value in that. Okay, so still now I have to so I'm going to create that. Anywhere in the component, yeah. Yes. Only if you check this option. If you uncheck this public option, it will not be available there. That will be private to this controller. Yes. Here you will never able to create the types. You have to explicitly create in a structure, adaptation structure. Yes. The class you can create it, but you can use it only within the class. You will not be able to use the component. So if you wanted something here, you should do it. Okay. Most of the things that you will be doing here will be one-time thing because you are going to only display it over here. You are not going to write any logic. Say for example, I am going to display a report that contains data from some five tables. I am necessarily not going to declare all the five tables. Okay, if I am going to display only the 12 fields from each table, then I'm going to put the two fields from each table and I'm going to create a custom structure and I'm going to use that. Okay, so mainly what we're going to do here is display. That's it. Okay, I'm creating a node, a slide. This is the form I have a cardinality 1:1. I choose all the fields of the table. Okay, no, 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 no. Yeah, we can use that. If you want, we can use that. This is just a demo, right? Okay, using the code wizard, I'm going to generate the layout. Now I'm going to generate the form. Just like you created the div with the help of this, then I'm just getting the form. Okay, I'm just using this type. just I click this one and then I choose the form. Just like the table, I have this option. Okay. Now this thing will generate me the, it has generated me the form. Instead of creating, yeah. Okay. Now within the do modify view, I'm going to write the code to fill the value. Why? Because this application reacts according to the value that the portal is passing. Okay, one time the portal may pass the carrier ID as AA, one time it may pass as AB. So whenever the value changes, then I wanted my application value is also to be changed. So that's why I'm going to set the value in the do modify view. Yes, yes, it should. That's what we wanted. This is totally a different WebExplorer component. We don't have any relation with that component. Okay. Now, when I click on the pop-up, yeah, when I click on the pop-up, when I click on the link, the pop-up opens. Okay. I'm not going to simultaneously do one more thing. Okay. I will close this window. Then I will click on the next link. Okay. Then, according to the value, the pop-up should generate the value. Yes. 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 But one difficulty that we are facing here is we are getting the postal parameter value in the handle default method, right? Of window. Before the handle default method is getting called, our view controller doing method will get called. Okay. So in the doing controller, sorry, in the doing method of the view controller, I won't be able to do the coding because I don't have any inputs there. Only after the doing method of the view controller has been executed, then the handle default method gets executed. In the handle default method, I get the value of the post parameter. Yeah, that is, yes. So, yes, application links, URLs. Yes, import and export. No, no, that we cannot do it. Yes, just a minute. We don't have this import memory, export memory. It runs on different container memory. I told you right. It does not run on your web server. So I will activate this whole application. We'll just test this application from here. Okay, I am pausing the. came and set the application with the parameter value AA. Then I set the value of component. Then the do modifier method gets executed. I select the value according to the carry ID that has been chosen, and I am setting the fields. Okay, now this application is something that we are going to trigger from our old application. Okay, but before that, here there is a complexity. Okay, you have number of rows. Okay, suppose if I select the lead, okay, let me display this application. This server, the date may be different. Date or some certificate may not be valid. Basis. Okay, here we are displaying some values. Okay, now whenever I am choosing this lead selection, then I can easily identify the row which I have selected. Okay, if I read the context node with the table operation, it returns me all the values. If I read the context node without table operation, the lead which I have selected, that particular node will get where. Okay, so that is case with the lead selection. Okay, but here we have link to action. It is not necessary that I should select this lead and then I should select this link to option. I can directly go on and click here. So here the complexity is which row I have selected, that row I have to read. So if I selected this one, AA, then I have to read the value according to that. Okay, so how do I identify which one is selected? Okay, if you remember in the class for the drop down, I have mentioned you about importing parameter called WD event. That is available within all the W2 event handler methods. The WD event tells me what has happened in the browser. Now when I click on some link, this WD event parameter will have captured the context element which I have in the link. So that is the only way I have to get to know which link has been selected. Because reading it simply will not help because it only gives the lead selected value. Okay. So we will go on and write our code to the event handler method that I have created for link to action in the last. Okay. So for this link to action, I have created a method in the last class, display file. So here we have this WD event parameter with which I am going to know what is the lead, what is the row that has been selected. Then I am going to fix the data. Okay. What I'll do is I will simply go for this statement doesn't work. Correct point here. Yeah. Yes. We want. Yeah. Yes. Yes. See, I have just written a select statement for select signal. I am not exactly going to display the same row. I just want to be able to know how to read this value and know pause it. If you don't have a unique ID to select it, then how do you be able to fetch the value? Okay, in this case, you need three key fields. Yeah, for this table, there are three key fields: client ID, con ID, and the FL date. So if you pass these three values, you will get the unique record. Okay, then in that case, we have to add two more parameters. Yes, 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 exactly. Okay, so I'm just going to trigger my application. Yes, in that case, we should have three parameters. Okay, I'm just going to select this row. You just make note of the date 26/11. Okay, here WD event is the importing parameter. So you just have to check what is that in the WD event. Here there is something called parameters. Okay, this parameter has a context element of the row that I have selected. With the help of the context element, you can actually get to know the value, right? Through the context API methods. You remember that context API method that I taught you. So with the help of that, you will be able to get the values. Then I know which of what you only dereference the value for the data reference variables. This is not a data reference variable. This is an object reference. This is pointing to a class. When it points to a structure or a data element, then it is a data reference variable. When it points to a class or an interface, it's an object. You cannot dereference the object. Okay, through the instance. This is the instance, right? You remember from the first class how we added and how we retrieved the value from the context node. The same thing we are going to use here. Okay. So first our thing would be to return the context parameters. So already I have told you I have done this example already in the drop down. I just created a parameter table of the same type. Then I got this type. Then I read the table with this context element ID and I got this value, right? The alternate option would be clicking on this button, transfer UI parameters, give me the context element. So this directly gives me the context element whatever I needed. Okay. Now I'm going to get the value. Okay. So for the purpose of this declarations, I am using this code wizard. I just wanted the declarations. I don't want this. I don't want this. Just want that. Okay. So the element reference of the value that I have selected that is available here. Okay, we have a context API method called get static attributes and I am receiving the value here. Okay, you understood that. I directly have the element reference. With the help of the element reference, I am using the context API method and I am reading the value directly. Okay, the next thing is that I wanted to call the pop-up. Okay, here I am not using this external. I am not using this external window as a pop-up. I am going to create my own application. Okay, so if you remember the first day class, sorry for the class for the pop-up which we had, we created one more window and within that we included the view and we call the create window method, right? In the window method we have other different methods like create external window. Okay, so the create external window will give me the pop-up. So with the create external window, what we want to pass in our create external window method, we have to pass the URL. Okay, so I will just open my blog. Now we call this create external window method using this WT manager, and we generate the pop-up window. Right. So now I am going to call a WebDentro application. Okay, that is nothing but the application that I have created to display the form. Okay, so to construct the URL at runtime, we have this class, utilities class. This utilities class requires the application name, right? So, okay, what is the name of the application that we have created already? So I'm just passing the name of the application that we have created. Sorry, you should pass the name of the application, not the URL. So I'm passing the name of the application that we have created. The URL will be captured in the stream. Now, to this URL, I wanted to add my parameter value. Okay, so concatenate LV underscore string. Then what is the question mark ampersand ID is equal to, what is the value then? LS underscore S flight hyphen char ID into LV underscore string. Okay, if you are passing multiple parameters, then you have to add ampersand, then the parameter name and value, ampersand parameter name and value. So the application URL is something that you have to form. Okay, then we should call the external window method and display the pop-up. We will just debug and see how it works. So I'm displaying this value. So I'm choosing this last record. I'm choosing this record just date 26/11/2014. Okay. So I got this context. I have imported the context element. Then I got the exact record what I wanted. Then we got the reference to the window manager. Then this is the application that I wanted the URL for. So I got the URL for that application, whatever has been created. Then to that URL I have added my string. So I have added this question mark ampersand can ID is equal to A. Then I am passing this URL over here to be open, and I got the reference in L1 underscore window. Then I am instructing the window to be open. No, no, you cannot do that. We never have the control to the browser. Whatever which is displayed within this region, only to that we have the control. Okay, we never have the control to the browser. Okay, since I have opened it as a model pop-up, I am able to access the both applications simultaneously. If I had set this option to, if I had set this option to true, then I would not have been able to access it simultaneously. Okay, but this was the option that was depreciated. We saw it earlier, right? Okay, so this is how we work with this one. Okay, so you are clear with these three things now? We are clear with these three things now, and we saw this link to action as well. Okay, now we will try to make some of the field as an input field. Okay, say for example, I am going to make the seat occupied to be an input field. Hello, so that I could change the value. Okay, so what would have we could have done is at the time of creating this field itself, we could have made this option to be an input field, made this cell editor to be an input field. Okay, otherwise now I could choose the cell editor. I could say swap element definition. Then I am saying it as input field. So from now on, this field becomes an input field to me. Now just bind it to the value. Okay. Now if I reload this application, I will get this one to be an input field. Yes, that can be updated. That is up to you. You have to read what is the value that has been changed. Then you have to update it in the database table. Okay. Now, if you see here, even though I have provided this as an input field, the occupied seat, I am not able to edit it. Yes. If you remember, I told you the coordinate for the input field is 1:1, which means only if the element is available, then I can fill in some values there. Remember that I told you in the first class. As of now, there has been no elements at all. Okay, this table is just displaying the list of friends I have asked to display 10 rows by default. That is the reason why it was getting displayed. Okay, so many people I used to see in a scene, they used to raise a question that I have changed it into an input field, but it is not appearing to me as an input field. The reason behind that is only when the element is present, only then it will be an input field. Okay, say for example, if you want to provide 10 blank rows for the user to enter the value, then before that you should have created 10 elements. What is the blank elements? Only then it will be an input enabled. now when I actually pass the value, then it becomes an input enabled to me. Okay. So if you are changing this value, then you can read what is the value that has been changed. So we will stop this example here. The same thing I will implement in another concept. Okay, because you have this only one row. You are modifying only one row. Okay, but there are 28 rows. Okay, I may not know. See, you have modified the first row, and I have modified this second, sixth row. Then I have modified the ninth row. I never have the track of what I have modified. Right? User never have the so I never have the track. So if I'm going to update this table, I have to update all the records that have been displayed. Doesn't that cause performance issue? Okay, so there is something called context change log in SAP Design Pro. What does this thing does is it is like a tape recording. At one point of time I switch it on, then whatever the changes that I am making in the browser, it keeps on capturing. Okay. Then at one point of time I stop the recording and I get the recording and I see what changes I have done. I update only those rules. Okay, so for this we will do one example explicitly. Okay, so this is just for the demo. I just wanted to show you how to make it as an input enable. Yeah. Okay. 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 That I will teach you. Okay. Um, okay, fine. I will teach you that. So we are done with that input field. Okay. In the next example, what we will do is we will keep this radio button here. Then I select this radio button. I will keep this, make this disabled. Otherwise, I will keep this as a checkbox. When I check on this checkbox, I will disable this field. When I enable this checkbox, I will enable it. Yes, this is how we are going to modify the screen. So I will be anyway taking a class for that. Okay, like working only on this particular row of the table. Right. So that is the only important concept. Most of the application you will have to do that. So I will teach that. Okay. So I will make some field. I will try to make this field as a drop down currency field. Okay. No description for print time. Okay, I will add one more field. Okay, I will just make it as a drop down. Okay, so if I'm going to add a field which is not relevant to the structure, and if I try to add the field, it will not allow me to add. Because since the structure is already enabled inside, it will only allow me to add field within the structure. So it won't allow me to add fields from other structures. Okay, so what I will do is I will just create one more attribute here. I'm simply going to call it as a status. Okay, right. So I have added a field. So when you change the structure here, then you have to change the structure everywhere else. Okay. So we don't have time, so I just modify this thing. Okay. Now it would have given me all the things other than the status. Okay. Now the status field, I'm going to make it as a drop down. Okay. So I'll just save it one more time. Field, the newly created one. I make it as a drop down. I always prefer drop down by index because you know the difference. What is the difference between drop down by key and drop down by index? Right? So I have a new field which is drop down. As of now, I don't have any values to that. Yes. This fine. Then you have to use the OTR text. Okay. Here this is the text, right? You have to create text in the OTR. Then you know how to create the OTR text, right? Say for example, if you want this tooltip, instead of writing the value or binding to the context, you choose FOL. Then here it displays the list of OTR packages. So if you have created any package, the package will be listed. So you just have to choose the text from the package. Okay, I think the transaction code is something S4TR underscore. I don't remember. Okay, fine. I will show you that once. Okay, so you can create a OTR text here and you can choose some text from here. So you will get something like this. So whatever text that you have in there, whatever language you are logging in, that language text will appear. Okay, now my drop down will be empty because I don't have any values. It was violated. Why? Because this is of type 0 STN and this field that doesn't bind that. Because for dropper by index, I need it of cardinality 0 is to n. Okay, now here what I am supposed to do is I am supposed to create the node within this node itself for the dropper. Okay, because every node can have a set of dropper values. First row can have open, closed, unknown. Second row can have only open and closed. Okay, so now it becomes the control of the element. Element is the row, right? And now it becomes the control of the element. Okay, so it has to be here within this one. So I'm just going to name it as a drop. Coordinate is 0 to n, and I create the status within here. row and change the binding. Okay, it was not enabled because it doesn't have any context value. Okay, now for each and every row, I have to fill this context value individually. Okay, so what I'm going to do, earlier we have created this, we have received this values, right? LT underscore explain. So what I'm going to do is, I'm just going to group this value, and for each and every row, I'm going to fill the drop down list. Okay, so for each and every value, I'm going to set that. So I just send it to the code, and I remove the unwanted codes. Okay, all I wanted is the reference variable to the drop down node and the internet table for that, then setting the value in the internet table. Okay, hello. Okay, so for all the things I was just going to have the values as open and close. Okay, I don't want to make things complicated. If you wanted for each and every node different, then you can, it's just an above condition that you have to check, and you have to modify the internet table content. Okay, for each and every row, I'm, hello, I'm hearing my voice. Okay, so for each and every row, I'm going to set this value, open and close for this drop down. Okay, but before that, what I want to know is what is the element reference for them. Okay, so what I will do, based upon the index, I will get the element reference. Okay, so what I will do, I'm going to use the method get element. Okay, so this method return me the reference through two ways. So I already have the reference to the node. So with the help of the node reference, I am passing the index value and I am getting the element reference. Which means when the loop is run for the first time, I will get the element reference of the first row. Okay, so I say here, don't use lead selection by default. Use my items. Okay, because I'm looping inside the looping the element table. And I get the element reference. Since we have created a node within the node, it is in the same level as element. It makes itself the child node for the element. Right. So now I have the element reference. Using this element reference, I just say that get the child node. Get child node of this element, which is the nothing but the node is node name I have provided as drop. Then the reference I am capturing in the reference variable for the drop down node. Then I have to process. Okay. So in this way, for each and every row, I get the element reference of the row. With the help of the element reference, I get what is the context node reference for the drop down for that particular row. Then I set the values there. Okay, you understood the code. If you can display, I got this 28 records. So for the first record, I am passing the site apex 1 and I am getting the element for the first record. Why did it tell me the element? Okay, check which we now we will go for them. Because access a null object reference because we don't have the reference right. Why he did not return the reference is I have never set the context value. First I have to set the context value. Only then the references are created. Then I could read the references. Till now I haven't added any value to the context node and how can I expect the references to be there? Now I have set the value. So the element references will be created. Now I get the reference for the first node, first element. I got it. And for that element I am getting the reference of the child node. So I got the reference to the child node. Okay, which means the first record drop down of the first record. In that I am setting the values as open and close. I am passing two values. Likewise, I get the element reference for the second record. And for the second record, what is the drop down node reference? I get the reference for the second one and then I set it back. Okay, in this way I set the drop down values. Okay, now the reading this value, it's also the same thing. Okay, what you have to do is you have to loop it. You have to get the element reference of the first row. For the first row, what is the node reference for the first row? Then using the node reference, you have to read the method to get static attributes or whatever the methods which are available to read. Okay, the same process you have to do. Only then here you have to use the bind table to set the values. Instead of that, you should use the method which will give you the values. Okay. Yeah, you can get it from the table. Okay. So you need not necessarily get a table here. drop down, anyway, you are going to choose only one value, right? You are not going to have multiple options. Yes. You want to write back to the database. So at the time, what you can do, for the first row, I have chosen closed, right? So I get the element for the first row. Then for the first row, what is the drop down node reference? I get that. Then using this drop down node reference, if I simply read that, it will only give me the value that I have selected. Because I told you that whenever I have something that will be the green selection. Okay, if I simply read this structure, it will give me the value as closed. Then from the structure you can get the value as closed, then you can fill the value here in the structure, then get some other attributes, then you can set it back in the table. Okay. So it won't change any values. If you want, you can create context and you can store it there. Okay, that is up. No, not required. Yes. Okay. So you have any doubts with this? Okay, so with this we will complete our today's class. Okay. So tomorrow I will start with the context change block so that I can do it in this application itself as create one more new application. Okay, just few minutes. We will recall what we have done so far. The IDES link. Okay, you just open my blog, go to ABAP page. Here I have created the document like how to get the access to the free access to ID system. 1.5. Okay. Yes, I am attending on an open setting. Okay, but today was a lot of exam for the first week. You want the result? You want the okay. I just have copied digital. No, every time I delete the exam, I will take the screenshot of that in the Word document so that I can distribute it to my friends. So I send it to you. Okay. I think it will be closed by 11:30. You have only 2 more hours left. Okay, okay, I will do it. Last week. Okay. So in the first part, we only have the singleton and supply function property of the context node remaining. I have explained you the cardinality. In this one, we have saw navigating between the views, then reading the user input, displaying the output, then crossing data between the views using plugs, then handling the error messages. Today we completed pop-up, calling a web URL, calling one web info application from another. We saw that, then we saw how to read the application parameter from portal. So I will mark this to completed. Okay. Then in the basic UI elements, we have some of the UI elements left that I will try to include in some other functionality which we are doing. Okay. Then we have this. We have saw this code wizard how it works. Then I explained you the some of the basics context API methods. In the table, we have saw how to create a simple table. Then we saw linked input field. Then table with drop down and link to action. So these three things we have done. The component usages we have done how to create a selection screen, select the option, how to use the value from that, how to set the default value. Okay, so we have done till this point. Tomorrow, what I will do is I will make this context change log. Then we will look into this search. We will complete this search option. Then we will just complete the remaining features of this table in another session. Okay, if I wake up tomorrow morning, then we will have a class. Okay, no problem. Bye for you. Okay. Okay. So, of course, I was planning to complete the enhancements before Diwali. Okay. Then after Diwali, I will be going on look for the five. Then after that, complete it. So hopefully, we will come 22 or 23. Then after that, we will. Then last week of this month, we will concentrate on this FPM. Okay. By the time I am teaching you the FPM, I may include one more person. No issues, right? Okay. So once we are done with this announcement, can you done for the remaining amount? Okay, okay. Now the festival is coming. I have to buy something for my wife. Yeah. So now, but she was not. I have no take care of her. My father and mother will be. So I'm just going home. Diwali. This is my first Diwali. So if you can do that, then okay. Yeah, I have transferred 9,000. Yes. Okay. Okay. So we will just go through this plan. Okay. So tomorrow morning, anyway, I will call you. Yeah, I will check. I look exam for one of my friend. So that's why his login is still there. Next step in software development on HANA. Right. Okay, I will just send it. I will send it now. Because otherwise I will forget. Like tomorrow I will update in my resume and I will send it to you. Okay. Okay. So we will just wind up with this for today. Tomorrow morning. first file, the assignment one. Yeah, I will directly do that. Yeah, start this now. Yes, you get one record of achievement certificate. Right. Show you something. So I get this certificate, this record of achievement. Um, okay. Okay. Okay, you are attending next steps in HANA Cloud platform that are going on currently. The current courses that are going on are HANA Web Development Environment, then Introduction to Theory UX, HANA Cloud platform. Which one? Okay. You just transfer. Okay, okay, I will do it. I will do it. Okay, but other courses you may not be able to attend now. Only you may be able to attend for the current courses. That's why if you miss out the first 2 or 3 weeks, then it is of no use. Because at the end of the sixth week, you need to have a percentage of 50, more than 50% for overall. Then only you will be able to apply for the last exam. Okay. So only when you start from the first day of the course, you will get this. You can do this. Okay. Okay then. Okay. Fine. Don't forget to transfer, please. Okay. Fine. Okay. Yeah, that is fine. No, not an issue. Okay. I am going on 20th. If I get before that, it will be good for me. Okay. Okay. Then. See you. Bye. Good night.